Audio's running.
That works. Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, British Boutique Guitar Festival. I'm Adam Steele and this is Duncan Cruttenden. Hello.
Hi Adam.
So Duncan is one of the boutique guitar builders at the festival, and it seems we have something in common as well. We were just talking off camera that we both come from a history of catering and hospitality. And
Absolutely, yes.
And it's funny the kind of details that transfer over, isn't it?
Yeah, and the skills as well. So knife skills and carving are very, very similar things. So
Yes.
yeah.
So let's dive right in talking about carving with this particular is the sound we like to make. Does this have a model name?
Yeah, so it's the Pavillion Parlor Royale.
Ah, yes.
The Royale being the carve as opposed to the flat top.
Right.
So yeah.
I had it in my pocket. No, I don't. So I'm playing fingerstyle, which will suit this guitar really well, I think. And so I'm on the Dream. That's not a pick, that's a rock. Damn you, Leaf Huge. That's a very sensitive pickup right there. It's picking up my fingernail on the string. That is a really nice kind of tone for the neck pick. I suspect we need a little reverb on here. There we go. So this is the bare knuckle Stormy Mondays, you said?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, so these are the kind of the low output vintage.
That's
around.
yeah.
Definitely seems to suit this. When I first saw this guitar outside, I think I said it looked a lot like a kind of a dobro. That kind of big low end, which so that remember what the shape is from?
So I'm using Parlor acoustic templates. I love the Parlor acoustic. It's kind of my sort of guitar of choice. So I wanted to build an electric guitar using those templates and kind of just having a bit of a slightly sort of retro look and feel about it as well.
Mm. And it really does do something that's not on the general market, I think, which is great, because there are so many guitars that I see that are really well made, but it looks exactly like a Strat, exactly like a Tele, exactly like a Les Paul.
Yeah, and I was keen to avoid doing that, so yeah.
And you absolutely have. And even though it's got this kind of much wider back end, it doesn't feel really heavily weighted one way or the other, which is a really nice balance. If anything, it's slightly back weighted, which is great for someone like me. I've got quite bad wrists. And there are some guitars where there's a lot of neck dive.
Yeah.
I find them very difficult to play because then I'm having to support the weight.
Yeah.
And that then takes away from my limited playing abilities. Let's put it that way.
And because these are all hand built, what I do is sometimes the centre block ends at the back of the bridge, back of the tailpiece. But on others, I actually leave a chunk in between the strap button and the tailpiece, so it's got a little bit more back weight as well.
Right, and is that related to wood weight, or is that the...
Yeah, and just talking to the customer and the player and just finding out what challenges they have. you know, when they're playing, and trying to sort of work with them just to make the guitar as playable as possible for them.
Very nice. So this guitar is also, it's got the top locking, which is a very classy thing. I don't think I've seen that very often.
Yeah, they're go-to tuners. I actually put those on to that instrument because this is a guitar that I use at exhibitions.
Right.
So it just obviously helps for any sort of quick string changes and things like that. So, but again, yeah, sort of hardware, wood choice, everything is really down to the individual customer.
Very, very nice. And I can see all the electronics through the cavity, which is something that you see on semi-hollows, and I'm sure that was a nightmare to get in there.
Yeah, I basically load onto a dummy body and then have to sort of load all the electrics through the bottom of the F hole into the guitar. So
which of course is a nightmare, but it comes with the territory, doesn't it?
absolutely, yes, yeah.
So looking at the back here, quite often you do see a single stripe down the back of a neck, but this is unlike any I've seen in that it has incredibly fine double veneered detail.
Yeah, so we've got red veneer, red stained maple veneer there, a maple veneer, and then the stringer itself is Ziricoti, with some nice sapwood up towards the top of the.
That kind of gives it away, that
towards the
little bit of
headstock.
sapwood there. That's definitely the defining little feature that is almost perfectly where I would put my thumb for the first fret. So if I was to play this over many years, I'm sure there would be a slightly worn patch there as well, which would add to the character. That's a really nice touch. And the neck is really quite thin for a vintage style instrument as well. Would this be one of your demo models?
It would, yes, yeah.
So what kind of led you to the thin neck approach?
To be honest, probably personal preference for me.
Right.
So the flat top has got a thicker neck, as spec'd by the customer. Again, because they're carved by hand, then you know we can just take measurements and get whatever neck shape and thickness you want for the guitar. So but for me, I do like a sort of slightly thinner, sort of C-shaped neck.
Yeah, it feels nice in the hand. Let's try this with the Woodrow UA amp, which is more of a tweedy kind of thing, and see how the bridge pickup fares, because I heard Henning playing it, and it's not one of those screaming upper mids aggressive things. So let's see how it fares for me. Yeah, that's a really even balance from that guitar. I'm very impressed indeed. Now let's try this thicker, flatter monster and see what the tonal differences are. It does have the thicker top to begin with.
Yeah.
Now that's fascinating. Because if these are the same pickups,
Yeah.
that extra bark is coming from somewhere.
Tonewood!
Hashtag Tonewood. And this has also got a not all the way through. This is a set neck. Was
Yeah,
it
they're
one set neck
both
too?
set necks. Yeah.
Right, so
yeah.
it's just a visual continuation of the line on
Yeah.
the Royale model.
Yeah.
But this has got two different woods, including a green stain.
Yeah. So there's green veneer through on the neck stringer, on the heel cap. So it kind of carries through the whole guitar, so it's under the fingerboard as well, and
Wow.
and under the cap.
That is a large amount of detail that is very hard to show on a camera without a macro lens. But if you can see on the neck there, it's got the lines and lines and lines and lines. And inset knobs, which are kind of rubbing against the wood a little bit there, but that's an easy fix. But this is a client build, you said.
Yes, it is. Yeah, yeah. So,
And it's fascinating to me the kind of extra thick top means that this Tune-o-matic bridge is much lower down than I would find on a lot of guitars, which I'm finding really quite comfortable.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't say I dislike tunomatics, but generally they stick up so high that I feel like I've got my arm out here somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. This is a slightly different neck set to this one as well. So this is like a full, like almost like a PRS style.
Yeah.
Where the join is actually this whole piece.
Oh right, okay. That's a big join.
Yeah, so which gives the guitar really good sustain. Whereas this is a mortise and tenon join on here.
Right. So for anyone who doesn't know, that's more kind of like a T shape.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that is a big difference. And with the same model of pickups, this really is on the same amp. Much more forthright and bold, shall we say. And I can really see someone using a guitar like this to play a kind of a classic Delta blues show. I mean, I'm doing the drop D thing, but not for the typical kind of metal kids. I find a lot of drop tuning works really well for that kind of Delta bluesy kind of... This guitar really suits that style visually and sonically. That's really impressive. So yeah, check out the Cruttenden website in the description below. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks Henning for not switching, and thanks Mike for hosting the festival. We'll see you very soon.